I thought I would explain, and the best place to start is at the beginning. Uh, I was born in Baltimore City, Maryland in 1979. They call it Charm City because the only industries in Baltimore City, Maryland are crabs and murder and drugs. And the drugs and the murder are mostly related. You know, that's a widely known. I'm not telling you any secrets about Charm City. Um, you know, The Wire. Watch The Wire. So I grew up in Baltimore, and I was always a kind of a mentally ill oddball, you know, from an early age. And so I turned to entertainment to like deal with that. I also turned to heavy psychiatric drugs to deal with that. I stopped short at electroshock therapy. Yeah, that's it for another video. But I got into radio broadcasting, moved to Pennsylvania, and that's when I met a very sweet girl. Most fascinating person I've ever known in my life, because outwardly she was very meek, and privately she was intense. And I found it fascinating, so I married her, and it took a turn. It didn't go well. It was bad. I lost everything, including teeth. We won't go into it, but so in the last year of the marriage, we had moved to Alabama because her company, for licensing reasons, needed somebody to telecommute from Alabama specifically, and so we moved to Huntsville just before our marriage went up in flames, and I spent a couple of months, you know, just living in Big Spring Park, which is a quaint little public park in Huntsville, and doing stand-up comedy at open mics to just try to get into the community. And, you know, like, it's been years. I'm in the community now. You know, like, I say I'm stuck in Huntsville, but that's got multiple meanings. You know, Huntsville's also stuck with me, unfortunately. And I'm sorry, Rocket City. I know. I'm a bit much. But so anyway, I married this girl, went toxic, it was bad, homeless in Huntsville, the whole deal. So I'm terrified and alone in the South, and I met all these wonderful people, like, including this guy that was doing stand-up comedy at the time named Nick Perez, okay? Very awesome guy. We got very close. And meanwhile, I was also, you know, terrified and alone, and, you know, I was meeting hundreds of new people and just trying to be a part of a community, and just felt detached from everything. And I started obsessing with this artist named Breakmaster Cylinder, who wrote the theme song for a podcast called Reply All that had started, like, just as my life was going sideways. And so, like, I spent a lot of nights, you know, just, like, on the street listening to Reply All, feeling safe, and listening to Breakmaster Cylinder's stuff and feeling safe, you know, like, and using it as a safe place for myself. And a year and a half maybe after I had started obsessing with BMC, I had, like, a full-blown manic episode. Like, my whole life I've had them. And usually they were like hours or days, or maybe a week or two. But for months, that's a new thing. That's a new thing in the past. That's since the marriage ended that's been happening. And that happened, you know, a few years ago. And BMC noticed that I was kind of spinning out. And BMC sent me a song that we're about to listen to called Safe Place. It was called A Safe Place for Joel, you know. And it tethered me. It brought me back from feeling detached from everything, and you know, helped me turn around like a dark time in my life, you know. And so I've been obsessed with that track that BMC sent me, and I use it in a lot of the art that I'm making now. I know this is a long explanation. I'm sorry. We're gonna get there. I'm in a full-blown manic episode right now, as you may be able to tell. You know, it's like the same thing as a few years ago is happening again. But we've kind of turned a corner on it, and we're, like, managing it and such. But people have noticed, you know, I start publishing a lot when I'm dealing with mania. I mean, that's what mania is. But so this friend Nick Perez that I mentioned, yes, he took that track that BMC made for me that was so special for me that I keep using it over and over and over and over again. He took that track and he wrote lyrics to it, and he produced the actual, like, you know, remix of it. He called it A Safe Place, in parentheses, Invaded, end parentheses, and that just that alone, that act alone, having not heard it yet, is, that touches my heart, the fact that he did it. The reason I haven't heard it yet is I checked my email, I saw I had it, I downloaded it. I started to listen to it, and knowing the gravity of this moment. And the moment that the lyrics started to happen, I started to hear the actual product, I freaked out and paused it because I was in the speakeasy where I work, which is a nice private-ish place, but it wasn't the place to hear it for the first time. I had to stop it so that I could hear it here in my safe place, is what I was trying to say before my beat-up camera decided to shut off there. It likes to shut off in the middle of my rant. My camera is a lot like my roommate. Like my roommate's job is to tap me on the shoulder every 15 minutes and go, hey, you don't have to publish everything. Okay. So, dang. Let me get this on point first, and then I'll listen to that. Everything has to be just so in my world. I'm sorry. It has to be just so. Shit. Oh, alright. I mean, like, not just so, but, like... Alright. Okay, so this is the thing that BMC made for me with Nick Perez having produced lyrics and such on it, that I'm hearing and sharing the moment with you. Okay. This is Safe Place Invaded.
Marlboro black, I'll never go back, but never just the run of the pack, so cut him some slack.
Hey, that you're fading off, it's just got a safe place, can't have weird thoughts in it.
He said Marlboro black, I'll never go back, but never just the run of the pack, so cut him some slack.
Hey, that you're fading off, it's just got a safe place, can't have weird thoughts in it.
Show you a safe place that I just built the other day because I was feeling threatened.
It's important to have a place where you feel secure.
Holy crap, that was awesome. I have to keep my comments brief because my camera batteries are dying, but that is incredible. You turn that thing that I explained the gravity of it into like a damn gorilla song or something. I mean, there were people involved in this. Thank you, Nick. That was incredible. And thank you, Internet, for sharing this moment with me. This was something. That was a time. We had a time tonight. Well, shoot. Thanks, guys.